well, those Phoenix flashes can.
This should be very exciting to see. Always a fan of the ideas that come with a Phoenix on any map, really. Ascent especially, except for one example I can think of. Well, we move into this attack side for GX, and it's Sayonara getting aggressive right away. Profek and Durka do the same. A little bit of posturing towards the double doors was nothing compared to the full blitz on A short, and they are taking nothing but scalps. A shot delivered to Profek, but the rest of the squad standing healthy. And blink and you miss it, Westside's all alone.
Yeah, you're sat there thinking back, like, what debut can he have? Can he repeat what those of old did? Maybe an ace in the pistol round, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. He's not seen anyone. It's just going to be, okay, maybe he will have to see someone.
Well, here's his chance.
That was, I think that was 2 bullet shot, 2 kills found. Very quickly turning this into a workable scenario. Still difficult, both flashes available for Westside. And you have to bear in mind that his ult comes online so quickly that even those 2 kills and death gets him halfway. He's not just going to try and stop there, though. He's looking for a little more.
They've got the old dog, the leader of the pack, taking that first contact. Westside, 40 HP, down to 11 now. It's a formality, surely, to finish him off. Sidesteps the shock dart. And a damn good attempt from Westside, but it's Vitality to strike first with a 1-0.
Yeah, maybe next time send him first. Like, that's what he
On
can
the
do.
Phoenix, are you mad?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But yeah, well, just look at what even the POV of the players on Vitality, it doesn't look like they can see anything, just spamming through the cage and doing so much damage. We saw in the skirmish as well, Yuppie talking about choking, going from 4-2 up in the skirmish to losing. Hopefully that won't be replicated in the match itself. As said, the expectations on this roster now are incredibly high. And interesting with the maps coming up next. Well, Dirk is having a field day. Ultimate 1 away after 2 rounds. A judge into enemy hands, and well, eventually Yuppie will get the job done.
It's a statement of a start. Grabinho, he's not even going to take that judge out, the more expensive weapon, but lacking utility in that kind of range.
Not bad.
The Bandit, not so much. Nicely done to at least find one, but a 2-0 start for Vitality. And at least they're going to keep over the majority of what they invested. This is really not the way you want it to go. You're walking in an eco, you think you might get 1, maybe even gets 2, but the judge, that rate of fire is just outrageous. And you're going to see a lot of that on the Neons.
Yeah, I think that's something that truly scares me, is that normally the issue Durka would have is, especially back in the Fnatic days, he was at every single international event, so he didn't get time to power up. He has had a month just sitting there, I imagine annoyed that he's not at the event, just getting ready to play again. And, well, the way he started, as said, he is currently 1 off the ult. Now, I like the flash. It denies the orb that Durka was attempting to get. Not going to allow that overdrive to come online. He does, however, still have a judge.
Yes, it's not quite the same position, but a reposition. And even just denying him that line of information, it's something that Vitality have to blindly assume is happening here. Yuppie had no idea as he pushed deep into mid, trying to avoid running into that trip, and finding the Cypher was the objective. Well, I suppose objective complete. Didn't quite expect Flickless to be in their spawn, but how could you? And with Chronicle down, the C site wide open. Good patience from GX early on. And a lot of that does start with the flash on A-Long, denying information for Vitality. They have to fill in the blanks, and in doing so, they're losing numbers.
Yeah, nice cleanup. This was still a few rifles in play for Vitality, but GX have been able to deal with all of them with relative ease, and now all that is left is the judge. And they should have a decent idea. You can see the range at which they're playing at. Ara ready and waiting, and one in-zone flawless puts GX on the board.
Yeah, nobody foolish enough to play close to spawn there and give him the fight that he wanted. You can see the difficulty with playing on range. But yep, I think this patience from GX is a really good sign. Although we will say in kickoff they were the slumbering giants. This time the slow pace certainly works as we see a bit of movement from them, 2-1. But here's the full buy. And now they know that flash is coming. The op won't be sent towards A-Long, but instead, the op is sent on short. Well, indeed, Chronicle is playing with a Bucky, but yeah, if you ever played against a Bucky in Garage, you know that's as good as any gun.
Oh yeah, he bought into a rifle last round, so that's why he's ended up in this position. Nice flash. Already seeing some usage coming out of West Side flashes. Very quick pace in, and obviously utilizing that run it back at the same time. West Side's still trying to be a little bit more patient, but the whole team has fallen back. And it hasn't pulled much of a rotate at all.
Yeah, I mean, Vitality had the right idea here, just playing it slow, giving up that space to start with and keeping their control deep on short with the operator. That shot that didn't land, it gives GX the idea of not going A, not feeding the op the chance to pick off multiple on the way through, and with it in the hands of Durka, you bet it will. With Profek already down, they sense the weakness on B. Very well done as Ara baits the shots, baits the crosshair. Westside delivers the kill and the plant in a 5v3, a very strong round 4 for GX.
Oh yeah, and you're looking at that operator and wondering, is this already a point of a save? Sure, send the Bucky and maybe see if
grab the rifle and get out.
Chronicle can get something extra, but winning from this stage is going to be incredibly difficult. The only ultimate you have as well is the overdrive, and again, you'd have to basically throw the operator into the wind if you wanted to try and use that ult.
It's a tough balance between the risk and reward here. I mean, having 3 rifles, one being an op, it does give you a good chance to fight your way back through, but not having a smoker to make it difficult for those players to deny the defuse. You can see you'd be vulnerable to the one-way. But the other side of it is GX getting away with a round where they lose nobody. Technically not a flawless, that's when you kill everyone on the other team. But it's a massive credit generator for them. They've got so much bankroll to work with now because Vitality didn't put up a fight.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye as well on Sayonara. There's been a couple of times now where I feel like he's been caught trying to make those risky plays. And that's always the thing when you are that youngster coming in. I don't think there's any doubt of his individual ability, but you're going to have much better team synergy than you will face off against in your normal matches. So it's like debate. That's exactly what Ara did to perfection in that round. Well, he's trying to do it again.
I like the idea from Durka there, getting out wide with the Neon run, hoping to avoid the flash from Phoenix, which even came in just a second late. However, it didn't matter. The Neon on the other side, the movement hard to hit. Results in GX knocking on the door. The A side, in fact, they're breaking right through, attempting to kick it down. Yumpy, the first line of defense, at least puts up a fight and a shot through the smoke. Another gives it to Durka. He'll finally be put to bed, but he might have done enough. Vitality of the upper hand. The spike is down and they're holding that back site. Although Profek falls, there's still one on site that they haven't seen around that wall, but Westside finds him too. A game of Minesweeper and he's hitting them clean, but Chronicle, the last factor, an unknown, at least for now. And with this plant, indeed, the ultimate can be activated. Risky without knowing where Chronicle is, though. Even though he'd get his health back, it might not be worth it, and it will all come down to the timing.
He's trying to clear every angle he can, being very patient, even trying to bait Chronicle into the fight, but Chronicle now almost knows exactly where his opponent is going to be, or has a decent idea of it. Westside just going to try and stick this one out there. There is no way he's getting away with that. The worst position that Chronicle could have possibly been in. And it will be another round onto the board for Vitality. But I have to say, again, the talking point of Westside, the man's looking cracked right now.
8-3. The Phoenix, we've seen the utility ideas there early. But the fact that he is cleaning them up like this, that could have been a 4-piece to close it.
Yeah, look at yes, bro. What the? Don't ask about it.
That's pretty reasonable. Durka got fed that second shot on the op, and that's what put the numbers in their favor. Westside pulling it back, but couldn't quite get it done in the end. Now towards the C site, Judge in the hands of Chronicle. He's up close. He's waiting for this, trying to get the first man in, but Ara went left, ends up catching Kron, and the flash through. It blinds up Sayonara. At least he won't be pushed on for now, and catches the Phoenix ult. They know he's here, and now he's got backup if they look to pressure. Ara in the corner, caught by the shock. Another finds its way into the hands of Vitality as they answer up every pick found by Durka on the way back through. It's 4-2, and signs of life fading a little bit from GX.
Yeah, they're still making these rounds incredibly competitive, though. Again, it's sort of like what you said of, like, you don't expect anybody to be pushing you in these moments, but Westside ult just allow him to take those sort of mass risks at the back of the site. And it is only because towards the end, it was like the clutch out from Yumpy and Durka. And again, this all just the movement you can have makes it so much more difficult for you to hit.
He might take time out here.
Still though, well, no timeout. They do have the credits to reinvest. Those early rounds, the 2 that they won on the GX side, have put a lot in the bank. That though is a worrying sign. That's not the man you want to lose.
No, not off barrier up, and then Durka follows through onto Flickless, long and short, both defended. They've left a massive gap, all in the name of fighting mid and taking the fight straight to these players in the smoke, and in fact, they find only one, knowing that Cloud was on short before he's boxed in. The smoke needed to let him cross, but do they read? See, is this open? And evidently not. Grabinho finally strikes, but even with that pick, it's a 2 versus 4.
Wondering if maybe they'd just drop the spike, let him take it and plant and see if maybe Cloud can play with the rotation, but instead the plan is to try and group back up together. Maybe leave Grabinho instead as that knife in the back. But I like what we're seeing from Vitality. Just 3 of the 4 players just all grouped up, making sure that even if one was caught, the others would have a decent eye. Now for Cloud, a plant does grant ult, but let's be real, a Hunter's Fury in a 1v4, it's not the best ult to have.
Planted. My ult scanning ahead.
If you can find a 3K, it gets a lot more powerful, but yeah, short of that, we're in dangerous waters here. And the stun perfectly landed. Cloud will be dealt with by Durka, and a 5th will find its way into Vitality's side now. The defense winning this, and I think why Scott was saying they might call a timeout. This was a big investment from the side of GX, but they still have enough credits to throw themselves at this one if they want. But the rounds getting more and more convincing for Vitality. It was a clutch, then 2 alive, now 3. And this wide spread that they went for, it got them space on C, sure, but at the cost of the majority of the team.
Of course, talking point coming into the day is, of course, the youngster in Sayonara, but let's not forget the players they already had. Durka is having a field day. 11 and 4. It doesn't look like in a lot of scenarios he's feeling any level of pressure. Like just happy to re-peek, happy to re-aggress, take space away from them, and already going to be set up into the window. Pressure put onto the A side though, and there is only one man here currently. Yumpy, wow. I don't know if he expected that many players to be around that corner, and they've completely lost control of the A site. A change of pace from GX that will get them in a post plant.
Now Bucky gonna look a whole lot more dangerous as they look to break out through the spawn. Arrows up close, and oh, his position given away, but still gonna be rough to root from position.
Damage.
Hunter's Fury, so much damage done. Prophet Team P's away to survive on 6 HP, and with Yumpy and Chronicle already down, it looks like they're thinking about the save. In fact, they're committing to it. The ult being carried away. And that is a hell of a response from GX. Just as the rounds start to tally up more favorably for Vitality, they come in with another instant force of a save on the other side.
Yeah, I will say some questionable decision-making from Yumpy in this round. The solo A-site player, I can only assume he didn't expect anybody else to be that close, but to jump at a guy with a Bucky with a shorty is insane. Like, that reminds me of when he first came onto the scene and was diving at people with shotguns while playing Jet. He was playing Yoru at kickoff, so maybe he's just forgot that he can't teleport out of there anymore, but when that opens up the entirety of the A site, that is a very aggressive way to play the round.
You don't mind seeing a bold face here and there, but a cost paid. And a round converted for the attackers. Credit saved over, gives a full buy. Operator still in their hands, but it's going to be sent towards A short again. And GX look to make this a quick take of the C site. And this is the part of the map that they are leaving wide open. Vitality deciding on this more aggressive stance towards the A site. 3 players there, and they're going to run back through. Sayonara's in the smoke. I got worried for a second that perhaps he'd be a bit audacious, but he's just holding the space, looking to punish, and trying to back out. I can't even fault that. But Westside hits a hell of a shot through the smoke. And again, a heavy price paid early. Hunter's Fury trying to pull back that advantage. 2 easy targets if he could land the shot, but they sidestep and a plant in a 5 versus 4. Even though he's low inside the ult, and it still doesn't matter.
They've finally taken out Westside, but well, he's back with another bite of the cherry, and the post plant so far from GX have definitely been the highlight. other than West Side, of course. Getting into these positions is going to be so difficult. They play aggressive on these angles as well. Paranoia through, but West Side is just tearing them a new one. Finally, he's been dealt with for the second time. Maybe a little bit of a chance for Prophet with a gun not out, but well, in the end, the rest of the post-spawn, excluding West Side, was enough.
I was thinking that now that we're going to move away from, well, at least the Yoru, there's a lot more room for the Sentinel play to come back. For West Side, I'm thinking this is going to be his meta. I didn't think it'd be because he's 13-6 on Phoenix.
Sit down, guys.
Telling them to sit down. And this isn't the face of West Side I expected to see. You see the potential of players in scrims. Converting that into officials is so difficult. And I think for him, perhaps it will take a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, he also dominated the Tier 2 French League when he was playing in it. So it's like, even in official games at a lower level, he has been there. He knows exactly how to be, well, the player that is expected of him, but well, maybe not everybody's going to be able to do what Woot did on his debut.
But this is it. I think he said it even in the interview. Although there's some parts I won't believe, like, oh, it's nothing different, no pressure, yada, yada. Like, I don't believe you. But, well, we'll talk about it in a moment, perhaps. It looks like GX are going to go straight into this. Already contacting up close. It's the worst time to put a drone out. And Yumpy found that out the hard way. Sayonara fleeing the site, but he won't make it far. A shutdown by GX, a 5 versus 3, and the hope of Vitality is towards the attacker spawn. It's that they can wrap up behind, already showing one, but it's an off waiting. A shot doesn't land for Arrow, and he'll be caught by that stun as well. A chance for them to take him down at least. Numbers back to even as they pick up the pace. It's a retake of short from GX. That's been spotted as Chronicle backs off. Durka deals with the man left behind. Gravino, the unaccounted. Factor, and he finds one, even stops the defuse with his presence, waiting for Flickless to wrap up behind, but both will fall in the blink of an eye.
Fair play. From what we've seen so far from Vitality, I was almost certain that would end up as a save. We've seen them consistently go, okay, 3v5, A-side retake. I just don't think that's happening. Well played. Well played. Okay, I'll give you that. But yeah, I didn't expect them to go for this. I do want to say, I feel like this is the first time in the post-spawn. I think it's been a bit of an overextension from the GX side. Like, the pick coming in. Yeah, you see Pips' reaction. That's not a happy man. But yeah, the push towards spawn to try and fight a little bit further, and then even being caught on the back line as well, that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, sending 3 players short, one goes back up towards the site, one pushes long, and one sat in no man's land, not helping anybody. We really had a lot of ideas, but too many chefs in the kitchen. I didn't like what was cooking.
Spike down.
Vitality, a 2-round lead, an insta-trade out of the Neons. It was Ara finding it onto Durka.
Gotta go.
That leaves them without that duelist as he'll... Whoa, okay. I was thinking about putting pressure on Sayonara from Ara quickly moving through Garage, but before he even breaches the doors, it's a clean shot from Cloud.
Spike planted.
Yeah, caught. And was the only defender of that site. Chronicle putting the lockdown into play, but they could opt to fall back. They're almost going to be forced to fall back. The reveal is good, and no, he's actually going to get out of there. Not quite caught with a drone still in play. Maybe the chance to try and catch someone. No, already. It's going to get to harm. This is starting to get dangerous. Finally, they've been able to delete one of the players, but now they need to get in there. Nice shot as well, but Yumpy's still fighting. That smoke is going to fade, though. That's a much bigger problem. He needs both of these shots, and, well, he'll get one of them. But Flickless, the safe pair of hands, will bring this back within one.
Last round in the half.
So strange to see Flickless on a Sentinel and West Side on a, I'm going to be generous here, flashing character. But he certainly earned his spot there. And, hey, the flashes have been supportive utility. You can't tell me they haven't been at times. The A-long flash, that's half his belt committed to it.
Yeah, because then when he doesn't have the belt anymore, he can just kill everyone.
Yeah, which at times is meant pushing through smokes without flashes, but he's not being afraid of it, and for good reason.
Oh, he's almost got his ult again. I don't know if that's 3 or 4. He's had quite a few.
Well, this is the time to use it. Last round, nothing left on the table. Viper's Pit available for the defense, but they're fighting out in mid. And GX crush any ambition they had of owning that space. Towards the C site is where we go for Sayonara to get this pit into position. Near impossible.
And if GX can do it again, I'm sure the Org will be very happy. And on the Vitality side, that's the expectation.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were on fire going through that run, going through Champions as well. Had some good performances there, but now it's all about showing that there's still embers under the ash of kickoff.
He is awake.
Sayonara will find his opening and a second. 6 kills in the last 2 rounds. Not bad from him, but Westside's getting jealous. We go down to a 3 versus 4. It's attacker's advantage, and Flickless completely isolated. But he stands strong on his own, living up to the name of a giant. But now, does he wait for the rest? Sitting in that smoke even has its risks.
Setting up for the retake. Paranoia still available. Molly's still available, but instead they're slow walking up. They still have all that utility, and they're just playing contact, maybe not expected by Chronicle. He'll be caught off. Counter Paranoia goes through. That's allowed for the trades, but it's all down to one. Profek up against those opponents, but he's managed to bypass after blinded. Players low on the other side. An opportunity, but the bullets aren't landing. He's just running around and eventually lands a shot, but it's Flickless again. I don't know how many scenarios now he's been the last man standing, and he's been the last man alive.
He's the one turning up when they need him the most, and that's what we've always seen from Flickless going through last year. 7 now for GX, and the lead is theirs, challenging the Vitality Super Team, which has been said so many times. But this time, it really looks like they've got the pieces to the puzzle. And that's the thing, they've been waiting.
Nice!
That's a man who's involved. We won't say what was muted there. But yeah, Vitality, they've been waiting for that missing piece to arrive, and now they just have to prove that the puzzle was worth completing.
Well, that's far. GX are proving that maybe you don't need to change anything. There they are. Worked on what they had, swapped up after not having... That was the thing with this roster. It seemed like they didn't have the right pieces for the meta. And I think that if you told me at the beginning of the year that their solution to that would be to take one of the best Sentinel players in the region and put him on Duelist, I would have called you crazy, because I'd watched Foot do that and it didn't work.
I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be the first time that I called Pipson crazy, and it certainly wouldn't be the first time I was wrong about it either. The man loves to prove me wrong, and I love watching it, to be honest.
They found my wire.
Different iterations, different ideas. This one certainly seems to have a spark to it. This defense, though, already given up a lot of space towards Garage. Vitality can put pressure on from both sides. They don't know the gap that was left for them there, but walking through to spawn would have been free. Now they have to fight for it, and it's Westside up close who looks to challenge, finding only one as they seek to get that Bulldog back. Unfortunately, it will be the last weapon standing. Yumpy all alone walks through a shock dart as well. Very well timed by Cloud. And 6-8 now. GX with a 2-round lead. See how much further they can take this. A full buy coming up for Vitality.
Yeah, you look as well at what's in the composition for either side. You kind of expected that first half to favor both. You've gone more into that double controller, Killjoy. I kind of have expectations that would be better on the defensive side. And then the double duelist, well, you basically now have to play this defense like an attack. Like, you're going to see Westside constantly pushing the boundaries of what he's able to do, like flashing into the door is sort of the old school classic. And while Ara immediately taking space. And normally you'd be talking about, okay, this is a bonus round, they've got a lot of pieces missing. Oh, they don't. They've got rifles on every single player. You got the Outlaw in, you got mostly Bulldogs. This is a dangerous buy.
Sent through, but look how passive Vitality are being. Hoping to get a reaction. The shock dart, I think, was supposed to take the trip out. It took a lot of HP off of Grubby, but Yumpy faced the same fate. Ara, was there a connection? No, they got away scot-free on that opening fight. And now into the site where Cloud's waiting, spotted and dealt with by Durka. Very nicely done by Vitality so far. And Westside's ult gets him nothing.
Spike planted.
He gets to live to tell the tale, but I think it was already looking like the beginnings of a save, and then Grabinho's been caught by Profek being incredibly aggressive in the heavens. Of course, for Flickless, saving doesn't really bring any value. It's the choice between keeping this Bulldog into the next round, or being able to just purchase, well, he could buy his teammate an operator, or he can just invest into a rifle for himself.
I mean, what we always talk about in these rounds is damage. So far, none for the side of GX, and as they lose Flickless, I think it's going to settle that way. Moneymaker for Vitality connected. And they get a little bit more wiggle room for the coming rounds. Valuable being behind by 2. The same thing we saw from GX. They went down a little bit, managed to scrap their way back, and they ended up in a very healthy economic position.
Well, there's something else worth noting as well, that obviously we saw Chronicle get the final kill in this round. He is having a very uncharacteristic game. Like, we'd put the highlight on Sayonara as that youngster, that star, that guy that we're going to be focusing on for obvious reasons, but Chronicle, well, up until this point was 3-10. That first half was a really rough showing for him. Now, do I expect that to continue into the second half? Probably not, but they kind of need it not to. He's that lurker. He's the guy holding down the other side of the map, and with how aggressive opponents are going to be, he needs to do a good job of it.
It's been a tough start. Freshly forged blade from Vitality, facing its biggest challenge right out the gate. GX, as we said in kickoff, they looked a bit dormant.
They got 13-0'd on the first map that they played Vitality on, so... But if that doesn't tell the story, I don't know what does. Yeah. And that was the one with Unfake. This was meant to be better.
Well, in some of these rounds, it feels like they're going from quiet to colossal. See how much more they can get with Flickless down. Okay, Vitality still avoiding any punches being pulled. Look at the space taken towards B. It's not even needed. Profex taking the fight right to them through the smoke. But they were ready, they were waiting, begging him to peek that angle, but their prayers answered and they won't like the reward they've gotten. It's now a 2v5 save on the defensive side. And we talked about this for Vitality. The previous round, losing no players means they've got a lot of credits to work with. They lose this round, they buy right back up. Well, at least one sits on the floor, one gun gone, but for Vitality, they will not care much.
Not looking to overhunt, overplay the hand, wanting to make sure their own credits are kept high. And we are starting to see that flare come out of Profek as well. It was something that I know Lauren talked about a lot in kickoff, was like, you look at this team, like you've got Yumpy as one of the up-and-coming IGLs, you've got Dirk and Chronicle who have been there, done that, got the t-shirt. He was sort of the one that when signed, you're like, he was very good last year, but that team never really achieved anything. It was like, okay, they should have got to this event, they should have got to this event, but they never really did. But he has shown as that pickup that he's still going from strength to strength.
Sorry.
Maybe getting a little bit too excited with how well he's doing. 14-11. But yeah, he's had some high impact, but also quite risky fights taken on that Omen. But that's always the terrifying thing with this squad, is there really is anybody on that side that can step up to the plate. A mixed bag buy for GX. It's that operator, that rifle, and then pistols across the board. Although if you've never watched Westside before, his Sheriff is as good as most people's rifle.
There's no shortage of evidence out there. Looking back on last year, the Killjoy with the Sheriff, he was crazy. Deep play already from Durka, wrapping around and cleaning up. Yumpy's there to help out. And with that helping hand, a plant found, and all presumably to be saved. And again, the credits getting out of control for the attacking side. They were 8-6 down, now sitting 9-8 with so many buy rounds. You don't even need to think about an anti-eco for quite a while. Now Profek's gonna get caught out. But with this extra cash they've got to work with, if it wasn't a Neon who could so quickly get away, you'd almost expect them to go hunt that op down.
I guess the only other worry is the whereabouts of
last player standing.
Thankfully, Durkas hit that shot, because there was actually no one else left on the site.
Durka didn't look even slightly worried about that. Yeah.
No, he's been cracked so far today. Like, especially on the entry. Like, sure, you had the reveal to help him out, but it's his own stun that left all those players in an impossible scenario and just cleaning them up. Getting himself ever closer to his ult. I think that's actually the thing that worries me most going into the next buy round. Is, okay, his ultimate's close, but it's more so Hunter's Fury. Like, that's one of those ults that if you have that in a take with Durka running in, I almost give that a guarantee of like 2 or 3 ults. Like it's so. They've had their moments.
That goes there.
Westside on the attack especially was able to bring them home quite a few rounds just off individual brilliance. So far, I haven't seen him activated on this defense. And I will say it's much harder to do. The Phoenix kit only really works one way.
Well,
He's going to sit in the corner though.
They haven't seen him. Turning their back to him, but running around, and Durka's caught 2. Now puts the pressure on from 2 angles, and it's his 3rd of the round, cleaning up the C site. Durka dominates those duels, and well, for Vitality, double digits, not quite secured, but they are on the precipice of it. Damage done.
Player standing.
Onto the last man now, Cloud, who's 11 HP. The AWP already down and saving out of the question. Durka's deleted the defense to find Vitality 10.
So you remember when I said during the pause that when you have a Hunter's Fury and you send it through with Durka, case in point.
Best part is, absolute best part is, the Hunter's Fury just hit him.
Yeah.
They actually just hit Durka. Did he do anything else?
That was finished celebrations.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the problem. Like, you're going to be disrupted in your play with everything going on. And even when you have that sort of snake in the grass of Westside, when Dirk is able to get behind you, that's so much more of a problem. Again, another mixed bag buy from GX. A rifle for Ara, but everybody else is left to... Wow. Not much at all. Nice shot from Sayonara, and well, a flash bounce come around the corner. It has blinded one, but this is the full force of Vitality just waiting on the other side. Prospect smells an eco kill, and he's going to go running in. Sayonara to find the shot and leaves just flickless. If he could get into position, he might get 1 kill.
He's been the closer for them in so many rounds! A blind shot into the orb, and he finds himself 1. Okay, how much more damage done? The Sheriff will not find its victim this time. 11 on the board for Vitality, and although 11-8 looks like a close scoreline, it's the streak of 5 and how convincing they felt. This attack side, even after the pause, GX have had no solutions to the problems being thrown their way.
This is that problem of that we've seen from many a team suffer from. It's just, okay, we've got this Neon, we've got this Phoenix. You pigeonholed into a style of play, and if that style of play doesn't work, what else you got? And as of right now, well, their plan was run it down. Obviously, that was a low buy, but it's the same. Try and get aggressive, try and put pressure on. That is Chronicle killing, well, only one of them counts, but he's killed Westside twice in a second. They're still going. Vitality are currently in their spawn. They are so happy to try and just soak up this pressure and soak it up. They shall. It's a run through, but Ara just not able to get anything. From a 4v4 quickly to just 2 remaining. Still in aggressive positions. Does Propek check? They both pulled Util out at the same time.
Last player standing.
Oh, the bait is beautiful. That is gorgeous to see. A big round from Sayonara. The final edge of this blade hammered into place, and Vitality looking deadly with 12 locked in now. I'm not sure if Cloud's saving. I imagine he will. But I would be very surprised even if he does go for it, if he stands anywhere close to a chance. Sayonara with the pit for the next round. I don't believe Durka activated his ult here, did he? So that's still online and available. Quickly get on the site.
Time. They were fighting in spawn within 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the other thing. For Sayonara this round, this was like a warm-up deathmatch. Like, you've got everybody just running at you, and you just got to try and hit the shots. Like, that's probably ideal. Like, you saw the struggles on the defense, where it's like, okay, there's all these pieces of utility forcing me into awkward positions. I feel like these spawn pushes are almost just playing into Vitality's hands. It's like, okay, we're patiently waiting for you to come to us, and that's exactly what you're going to do. There doesn't seem to be another edge to that sword. It's just, let's try the same thing again, but this time it will work.
Durka might have actually activated ult, but either way, 4 rounds left to play with. A pit if they get on the site, and so far, no, he didn't. Okay, no. He still got it to roll with. And yeah, in the end of the day, there has been no struggle when it comes to these attacking rounds. You could delete the ults on one side if it was Vitality side, and I doubt it would make any difference.
From the open? Oh, you're so stupid, bro.
happy with the fact that the ult was, the Phoenix ult, of course, activated behind a very spammable door. So,
don't say that.
Made that a little easy.
They'll put some metal on it if you keep talking.
I hate that that rage bait worked. I actually felt the spike. Well, this should be not even the beginning of the end. This is the final hour. Fangorn Forest has arrived, and it's eating GX alive. 4 rounds in a row needed for OT, and so far there has not been a spark of hope. We asked if there would still be some embers under the ash of kickoff, and at least for now, it looks like GX have gone cold.
Yeah, it started strong. Like that attack side double duelist, or at least one of them, looked incredibly good, but we're yet to see too much on this defense. I like the change, though. Much more passive. Force your opponents to try and execute onto you. Aggression coming through on the other side of the map, though. That's Aragon. The whole C site has just been opened up in a second because they needed to go looking for information. They wanted to try and find something. And they don't even really have it. They've got no ultimates to play with on the retake. It's not like they've got anything to get them back in. Sayonara, is he going to get caught? This might give them away, but no. Flickless falling. The only spot they currently have is their own spawn, waiting for the firing squad on the other side. Cloud's done well, but the last man standing won't stand for much longer. 13-8, a clinic on the attack side from Vitality position, but I think more importantly, back to that double initiator. This is what made this team truly exciting, was how they were able to play with those initiators. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Waylay will bring for them alongside it.
So fast. You can see the salvos primed and ready. As they're sent through, they've already lost the tip of their spear, shattered as it made contact with Durka. Vitality, one man to the good and playing patient and passive. They'll break reveal that was coming their way in the form of the drone, and then they'll break the spirit of the droney, the operator, down and out. Not the gun, but the operator of the drone, if you follow. Anyways, a 5 versus 3. GX, they're scattered to the winds, and well, they were being swept away. One stand from Flickless at least brings this in within punching distance.
Time into a hole. Maybe seeing if a mistake is made, and okay. Back to a 3-on-3. A winnable scenario. Chronicle holds on to that cross, makes it that little bit more difficult, especially with how low Flickless currently is. But the pistol got himself. Westside still standing. Oh, maybe I've jinxed him. Not a single bullet landing on the head as we'd normally expect. And well, Vitality are going to claim the pistol for themselves.
Strange to see the man with the pistol prowess missed those shots, but it was so close. So much damage done in the end, and it's good to see them putting up a little bit of a fight early on. But for Vitality, right back to winning ways. A great hold towards Art, good patience. And I want to just touch quickly on the fact that obviously Sayonara...
I got half of my kills!
Yeah, he's taking it in his stride. That's what it's all about. But for Sayonara, I am liking what I'm seeing on the previous map as well. This guy hailed as, you know, God's gift to the earth, or to Vitality in this case. And he's not afraid to just be a cog in the machine. He's not afraid to play his role. He doesn't need to shine brighter than anyone else as long as the team is the one taking the rounds. That's all he cares about, and I think you can already see that in the way he plays. I like GX, though. They're going to double down on this play towards Art this time, sending most of the squad that way.
Yeah. The info's definitely there. Sayonara under some serious pressure, but Umpy there on the swing. He's maybe missed one player going past, so there will at least be one gun on the deck. Still an opportunity for that to be upgraded. It was a Bulldog on the ground, and I think that should be retrieved eventually. So there you go. 2-0. Vitality have claimed themselves the round. Now this is going to be, I was going to say seemingly more of a bonus. I'm waiting to see if Chronicle actually sticks the landing on the gun he's just bought before I start to question it. But he has currently got a glass cannon operator, but that might just be troll.
I'm going to go ahead and assume it is, but that clock is ticking for him to sell it. No way. 3, 2, 1, and yes, indeed. Okay. He's bringing the op through. You know, I'm very curious to see what the idea might be behind this one. We've talked a lot about Vitality, how they're working here, how Sayonara is fitting into the team. What better way? Better than talking about it. Let's show you. Let's take a peek behind the curtain in the listen-in.
Look at that.
Behind box.
I nade behind.
I'm revealing.
Behind box, behind box.
Yeah, I cannot go, guys.
Okay, it's fine, that's fine.
Leave. Careful art now.
You can bunker.
I think you guys got double art.
I'm just playing. I'm playing anti-face setup.
I can't. I have
You need to hold this art. Just hold this art.
I'm gonna swim.
Running. I will clear church. Nothing here.
Can you clear him, mate?
Break it. Coming A split, I would say.
Yeah, it should be A-split.
Yeah, looks like
It's
ace
gonna be
split.
a split, yeah.
Dropping.
There, Cam with you.
It's going to be a tough hold, there's no doubt about it. GX managed to claim a lot of space, but Durka, with that judge in hand, has been able to even things up a little bit. Getting any further might be difficult, but the plant still hasn't come through. Potential for spam! Well, that was just a one bullet put in Yumpy's direction.
30 seconds
That's
left.
been enough to give the man advantage back. Durka desperately low, and well, the operator, it would be a risk to gamble it here. Eventually that plant will come through, though.
Would have loved to be in the listen in for that. Here, Yumpy, how he feels about a shot through the wall, taking him down. It's basically lost the round for Vitality with two players super low. A shot in the dark, but it doesn't miss for GX. 2-1 now on the board. Nicely done. Although I feel like Yumpy's going to feel so hard done by that.
Yeah, the unfortunate truth as well, though, is that that operator just had no impact. Like, you're trying to throw it in on the retake, but also then he swings in and dies at the end. So it's a costly weapon to just throw onto the ground. I don't think it was picked up because I don't think he even fired a shot. So I don't think they even know that
he fired one shot.
Well, they didn't pick it up nonetheless.
Yeah.
That's at least something, but it puts Durka down to a judge, which, okay, maybe that's not too much of a hindrance. We'll see if GX can build some momentum here, though. The attack side, especially with this double initiator, is where I expect them to win the majority of their rounds. They've always been very good with their executes, and maybe we'll see the same in the defense with their retaking.
Well, GX have decided to use that knife hitting 4 players on B to pump the brakes as they should, and then go back in the other direction. The problem is they don't have control on that side of the map, and Chronicle's able to walk all the way up, but luckily he's caught the edge of a player, unable to connect. Bun eventually at least brings it into a trade.
Eagle eye.
Until Westside gets busy. The B long play catches one past the Prowler! Durka finds 2! A huge connection in a round that was slipping away, and now Vitality of the spike down. Man advantage
Last
Durka.
player standing.
I think he might be, it looked
Kinda
like
got
he was
the
going to
spike.
overplay his hand, but in fact he is. He is running it down, and he'll catch Gravino. All right.
Hey, you thought he was going to all in and lose. He all in and won the round. Sometimes, you know, you just got to let Durka do his thing. And the thing is, we were talking about this yesterday, where I think we saw Echo use evolution to dodge prowlers.
Yeah.
Durka don't need no evolution. You have to use an ult to do what Durka can do just on a regular day.
He says a fun adventure. Yeah, Durka was on a fun adventure indeed.
It's crazy. He didn't upgrade from the judge. I wonder why.
I don't know how much lambast bread he could eat, but he looks hungry this series, and well, he's certainly getting his fill. Salvo stopping from falling back. Chronicle, on the other side, is being challenged by Prowlers. Already had 1 player across, and that's a big pickup for GX. In a round where they've got mostly pistols, they've now got a weapon upgraded. Pressure put on this A site's opening the door for Grabinho to walk all the way through.
He could have TP'd, but just decided not to. Grabinho, well, there you go. That was the man you were talking about, catching the rotation. And we talk about sort of soaking up pressure. In the last map on the Vitality side, it seems like GX are more than happy to do the same. Prophet is the one spanner in the works, but he has got the full force of his opponents up against him, and even just using the stun, making sure that that special delivery should put the round to bed. For Durka, he's at least now retrieved a rifle, but until this Cosmic Divide fades, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, the stun burned up as well. I think he thought it would go a little bit deeper than that, but unfortunately not the case. Ended up just stunning the entryway, and now they'll go for the save, bringing these weapons through to the next, and an early challenge from GX on this attack side. This is what we were hoping to see as they move towards their map, but I didn't expect to see it in this round.
No.
So many disadvantages for them, and even that initial fight. I feel like, in EMEA I'm speaking about, I feel like when the Prowlers coming through, before that even, the smoke blooming for a moment to allow them across, Yeah, indeed, when the first Prowler and the smoke are there, that's the moment you'll usually see someone go, okay, there could be
maybe
someone
tap a
cross.
bullet.
I've lost the info. Yeah, fire shot, TP out. But he wanted to stand his ground, confident after getting, half his kills from last series in the first round. But, well, it didn't pay off here. And GX are going to climb their way back through.
Yeah, it's definitely seemed like, obviously, a rough first match for Chronicle, but that definitely came across a little bit too disrespectful. Maybe just not sort of like expecting much from GX on the other side. I know when looking at this group, many would put them as the team that doesn't make it into the playoffs. Like,
Just wild when they were at champs, but kickoff was just not a good showing.
It's them Pacific and I think Eternal Fire. Like, when you've got Fnatic, Vitality, and BBL all in the same group, that's looking like your top 3. But then the 4th spot may be up for grabs. But even still, it was audacious from Chronicle. You saw just a moment ago on the toast that was his joint lowest in terms of performances. It definitely has not knocked his confidence.
In terms of strength of the players, though, for GX, I do feel like they get a little leg up coming into stage 1, in that when I think about the strength of each individual, I know we saw Westside play a duelist that was fantastic, but moving away from double duelist or having viable comps that are outside of that you're not losing just an unbelievable amount of free value by not playing. That's where I think GX can climb back up the ladder, because they've shown us that they can play at the top. And I think last meta, either they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Either you play the meta as it should be and you lean away from individual players' strengths, or you don't and you get rolled.
It's also the Yoru basically replaced an initiator.
Yeah,
that was what that agent was able to do. So if you're guys that love to run traditional initiators, people are getting value elsewhere. Prophet's done very well. Managed to get one off the back of a shorty.
30 seconds left.
Just a bit of an oversight, it seems, and that oversight continues. A second kill picked up. The trade back not bad, but Chronicle's still in position. Leaving just Westside. Yet to see the heroics of the last map just yet, but he knows where all of his opponents are. Knowing and dealing with them is a very different story. Surrounded and finished off. It is a 4th round and a return to the scoreboard for Vitality.
Right back on the horse, big trading rounds.
Yeah, there was an oversight here.
How much value Prophet finds because of that blip on the radar. But when we move into this round, round number 7, 4 ultimates online for Vitality. This is their chance to not just connect a back-to-back for the first time since round 2, but to put a bit of pressure onto that GX economy. This could be a big one for the defense, and they start with aggression. Certainly not going their way, but Gravino's fed them one right back. I have to ask, Tom, you have the man advantage and your Astra goes swinging through double doors. I mean, that's a tough one to really process.
I can only assume he thought he'd caught a timing. Maybe Yumpy throwing utility or making sound, I don't know. Virgin's part utilized, but it doesn't connect. Sayonara able to dodge it, and because of that, it's a free kill. A couple of moments that seem to be dwindling, but they've still got themselves into an all right position. Sort of blips on the radar, and they baited out the Hunter's Fury. And because of that, it's given Westside so much space. He is losing teammates in the meantime, but they will still turn it back into a 2 versus 2. Flickless still standing for now and needs to continue that. Otherwise, Westside's position will be known. And now, well, it comes down to the clutch. I like the reposition, though.
Yeah, this is really nice. The assumption here, naturally, is going to be that he's gone the other way. He's not gone to Flowers, but instead wrapping around towards the pit, and instead he can catch a timing. But now they start to realize they connect the dots. Durka thinks, well, it's been a bit long. Maybe he's even wrapping behind me. Hold on. That extra angle could give Westside a 1v1, and he wins it.
But
he doesn't know where that last player is, and Durka, 10 HP, an easy kill, but not with your back turned. 5 on the board now for Vitality. The pressure's on for GX.
The annoying thing is if Durka's not 10 HP, he wouldn't play there. Like, I can understand Westside thoughts for it. You're like, okay, there's a guy that deep. The other guy has got to be maybe Pit in a crossfire. Like, they've got to play off of each other. They were not playing off each other at all because Durka was 10 HP. So he plays the most awkward, weird angle for where his teammate was playing. It's unlucky for Westside, but it's worked out wonderfully for Vitality. 5-2 in the lead, building up those defensive rounds. And again, the expectation might be that, especially with the chamber in play. We saw Chronicle try and force an operator early. Well, this one he's got for free.
Look at the angle that he's got for free as well as a result. A-Main completely locked down. His trap is covering the walkthrough on Art. They can go around and stack this B side, but they can't get there before GX2 already up close. They'll be slowed by that though. Way late, not able to close that distance, not able to get in and out as you'd want. And as that clock runs down, Durka runs into the site now, playing from the spawn, but Yumpy, he's got help online, but he might not need it. Goes charging in, his back turned. This is a chance for Westside. He could get so much more than one, and there it is, a double. Life being breathed back into GX, but Profek holds strong on that backside. Rubinho looks to isolate him, will do so, and get himself the spike. A major opportunity now in this 1v2. The round looked lost, but a slight overextension. The GX are right back in it.
30 seconds left.
He's going to go on the long walk around.
Still a trip in Art, though.
It depends which way he goes. That's the quickest way, so it would be the expectation, unfortunately. And because he's walking, well, he doesn't have a choice anymore. He doesn't have the time to go anywhere else, so that's the trap broken. That's the information, and the immediate rotation begins.
Left.
Plant will come through at least.
Spike planted.
Still a chance for Grabinho.
He pulled back a star, so he couldn't set one up post-plant. Instead, is to play that bit more aggressive. It was not a bad idea either. Pulling back the star on B, trying to sell the fake, but yeah, he breaks the trip a millisecond later, and they know ahead of the curve. Vitality now sitting on 6-2. That should have been a lost round from the get-go, though. Westside did a wonderful job to pull that back. You're seeing the old dog still has some bite in him there from Yumpy. That was a big hold. A big hold, I say that. He did push in for the third kill.
Holding W is what you meant.
Man.
Behind me! Nice!
We've all been there.
Wow, what a reaction from the coaches. They're ecstatic. 6-2. Close rounds. A lot of them ending up in Vitality's favor. Their opponent's map choice looking good for them as well. Early aggression coming through on the defense. Posting up Durka deep within control. Allows for a rotation back, and
Need that back.
after taking early space, there's still quite a bit to play with. I'm looking at that Armageddon. Normally such a high-impact ultimate. It's been online for Cloud for a while. The thing is, Durka, if he can just get one here and get out, that's enough for him. But with the drone coming through, he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to use, well, his speedster abilities. Otherwise, that run back's a little bit tougher.
Well, 1 minute on the clock, but GX clearly intending to blitz it down on B. Durka can't see a thing, and luckily gets his vision back in time to notice he needs to move quite quickly, although he steps right back into it. So he's going to be taken down by Cloud. Armageddon Day strikes for Vitality as they crumble on this B side.
Where are you?
Few low players. Chronicle's yet to have one of those standout moments that we've come to expect from him, and with a rifle in hand. The question is, does he save? Like, look at the amount of credits his team has. It seems like, again, he wants to try and be the hero first. Goes 20 seconds as well! That was the player behind! He wasn't even aiming towards Grabinho, but he's managed to take him out, and now Cloud is so low on HP! It was a matter of time before the man of the moment, the guy who is always at the top of that scoreboard, strikes. But at the worst possible moment, a Red Bull clutch for Chronicle.
Almost brought a tear to my eye. This guy in the last map had his tied lowest performance of all time.
One enemy remaining.
The fact that he gets Grabinho there. He goes from the worst in his career. Keep in mind that the other match that was tied for worst, they lost 13-1. This one is a victory.
The look from Pal that was worth every penny. Every penny. Together was so good that he killed the guy behind the other guy. Like, you kind of just go like, that happens.
The only note is, like, the guy closer should wide swing. If you're going to commit to it, sure, but I don't think what they did was bad. There's no way you can anticipate that level of individual performance. And even how he played the 1v1, knowing The stun didn't land. He's feeling the pressure. He will peek me.
Revealing.
Beautifully done. A masterclass of Vitality, mastering
Oh no.
this defensive side. Well, that's gone horribly wrong.
Look, he was dead anyway. I'm just going to put it out there. He had a stinger. He dived into his own teammate's utility and got immediately headshot, and that's why he died. So he was dead anyway, but it does look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest of things, especially not when you're saying, hey, boys, all right, let's bounce
So
back.
look,
That
immediately
last map
shot.
was whatever. Well, he did land a headshot. I'm just going to say that. He actually might not have been dead. There was a chance he gets away with that. But that chance was nullified immediately. I see them setting up towards A. And poor Ara's like, I'm not going that way again, man. I'm staying well away from those salvos. Look, it was a low buy. It is what it is. But a bump in the road that you certainly don't want when the suspension's holding up this poorly. 8-2. A dominant half from Vitality. And it's not over yet.
Yeah. I will say the Chronicle round kind of makes it feel like it is. I need to see something from GX that sort of lights the burners again, gets them firing, because yeah, you lose a round like that, you take a pause, and then you kill your teammate in the next one. It doesn't feel fantastic.
No, it's not a good sign.
Mark Chronicle, even when he's not been having the best of times, he's not been shying away from a fight. Again, aggression towards Art. They are going for this A-site split once again. And already, rotation starts from Dark. Sayonara straight through the smoke, though. That's your duelist. That's the guy who's meant to be taking all the space. He is dead. And now they have to try and find a response. Grubinho has done just that.
Covering it.
Oh, it's chaos on that backside. Durka
30
looks for a
seconds
fight and loses it.
Spike
Profecto
down A.
trading back, keeps us even. Up goes the Cosmic Divide. They can get the spike and even start the plant, but the drone's going to spot them up close. Still sticking to this site. And in goes Prof! Back on the flash! A perfect spray down.
All I'll say, let's go with the positives. That was a banging flash from Yumpy that he doesn't get killed.
Yeah, it's fair to say
that is a great flash.
that piece of utility saved his life. Great first shot.
Still blind, still blind, still blind.
Oh no, we need to show me slow-mo. Oh, it's actually better in full speed. It's much better in full speed.
He's just like,
Do you know what was going through his head there was... David is Profect for anyone who's wondering.
How actually taught him that?
Yeah, that's a pal strat right there. Profect Durka out on mid and out of the round. The trades, at least to start. They thought the Hunter's Fury was unguarded, unchecked, left open like that. Not a chance. Chronicle not only takes that kill, comes in with the punish, but then steps up further. That reveal perfectly timed to tell Chronicle there's someone to his right, but he's still not diverting his gaze. He's waiting for Cloud in mid. Cloud will finally flee that window. That spike is heavily defended now.
That EXE has stopped working.
Nice shot.
He was just looking at the drone as it goes past, goes to
Nice
fight
shot.
Westside, and now, well, again, it seems like Westside has
One more round.
tried his best to be the hero when he can be. A nice job from Sayonara! Oh, well, goodbye it is. A Red Bull clutch, 10-2. This is feeling like it's done.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think there's too much more to say about this. The second half better be night and day, or GX. They go from colossal to quiet yet again. We'll find out how this story ends after the break.
Wingman World while what?
I need to see a turnaround from here on the defense, because he's going to be a lot about claiming space, getting into positions where he can sort of recall if needed. If he's just getting destroyed, it is GG.
As time's gone on, I think it has started to look like his comfort on like a Neon, for example, is definitely up there. We saw it on last map as well, but finding his footing on a waylay is difficult. It's also difficult when you're landing into salvos, but we won't get into that. 10-2 for Vitality, and a pistol win here could be the end for GX in this series. Freshly forged blade looking tempered as they push deep in towards the A site. Art taken, but now they move back, seeing a lot of players there. They won the fight, but maybe they should have fled. Pushed into that site and left those men well alone. Grabinho answers up with a few. Oh, excuse me? Chronicle!
He's toggled.
He was walking as well, aiming at his ankles. And he takes out the head, but surely too big of a task here, and indeed it proves to be.
Thank God it was. I think they've been having nightmares for weeks if he did this. I think we'd have to postpone week 2 if he just clutch versus them again. Thankfully, GX have managed to grab their lifeline, but it's not filled me with too much hope, I'll be honest. We saw that in the past when they did have some of the successes on this map, going back to them versus Team Liquid, they had a very dominant defensive side. Of course, meta's changed, even agents have changed, so I don't necessarily think it will be as repeatable, but at least if they look back at that game, they can go, okay, it's possible.
Essential that this round finds its way into the hands of GX relatively cleanly. Dangers obviously with Chronicle. Oh my goodness, the danger's not even the headhunter, it's the classic. One found already for Durka, another for Sayonara. The site overrun, the weapons upgraded, and they're not stopping there. They're running it down, disrespecting GX and putting them back to bed. A 3 versus 2 advantage for Vitality in the post plant.
Still hope, still an opportunity. Those salvos can at least garner some additional space. They're going to try and force Yumpy into a fight. That's exactly what they do. But even when it's telegraphed, even though you know, it doesn't mean you can necessarily land those shots. Flickless, your opponents are low. One shot to the face would do it, but that time is ticking. Even finding the remainder, clearing them out, it seems like an impossibility, but he doesn't really even have anything left to save. It's just going to be about maybe getting an orb or two. It'll just be about getting an orb. Nothing really going the way of GX, and while any hope is quickly diminished off the back of that, Thrifty.
I'd pay anything for a listen in on Pipson's mic during that round. That was not good, to say the least. I genuinely, Tom, when we started this, they're like, well, obviously they need to win against the Classics. Wasn't even a hope in my mind.
Was it Eco? Vitality Classic! Vitality Classic!
I was going to say just before that, that's a great app for the Vitality Classic. Well, there you go. Yumpy's completed it.
Oh, how
Clip
they
it
won
and ship
that.
it. Social media team are going to be over the moon with that one.
It looked dominant when it came to the pistol, but GX right back to being dormant. This is just disgusting. They can't even connect the kills that seem to already be theirs. Durka, 18 HP. Profek, 24, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, look, another orb, fantastic. What round are you planning to use that in? Because it doesn't look like there's many
Probably
more
the next
left.
one.
Well, he is 3 away from it.
He's gonna get a couple of kills. And he's gonna die.
I see. Yes, very good.
Well, wait, you might get Durka because Durka is full on hunting, and he has been
On
the
18
second
HP.
The second he heard where he was, he went, "Oh, where'd he kill you, Chronicle?" He has been looking. He's been wrapping around the map. He never went anywhere near the B site.
They might even have seen the orb taken. See that tallied up on the scoreboard. Not uncommon to check. And he's the only, that's hilarious, he's the only one hunting him. He's 18 HP. That's just the level of confidence we're dealing with here. And it looks like he might get there in time, but Flickless finds the angle. 2 away now, it's looking much more doable to have that ult online for the next, but I think they need a lot more than a lucky ultimate for this to go back their way. 9 in a row for the Giants. Hell of a task, and with Vitality playing like this, I'd say it's impossible.
Yeah, it was bad even when you just come into this half, but the fact that they win pistol and then lose the next round to Classic, like, there's been so much to boom your mental, but also just the score itself is reflective how this game has gone. Kind of like the last series these two played in kickoff. It was a close map 2 and a dominant map 1. Well, it seems the script has flipped, and either way, Vitality will take how dominant this has been, looking for their first point in the group. One that many will have expected them to claim, but This has been an impressive display on Pearl.
Great showing from Sayonara as well. Showing us versatility, not coming in, just playing your second duelist and cookie cutter.
I want to see it, though.
Been a good piece of the team. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. But what Vitality have put here is definitely their best foot forward.
dear.
Flickless is in the open, throwing a reveal. No one's peeking with them, even after contact. This is disastrous for GX. Chronicle's already through. As they swing around that cage, one will be found, but that seems to be all breadcrumbs that they're eating up on.
Spike planted.
It's only Ara and Cloud to pick up the pieces. A quick death at least.
One goes their way. Bit of an audacious position from Sayonara that's had to be given up. Ara on that flank, but they are well aware of it. And while any flank you have, Durka has one better. Sayonara with a triple to close. Debut complete with a victory. And Vitality